Hello my fellow designers, welcome back to D-Life HD. This is Victor, and today we're going to be comparing Doom to its sequel, Doom Eternal. So without any further delay, let's jump right into it.
I was a worker, had to upgrade to a boss. I had to switch it up. Used to live in the hood, but had to upgrade to a loft. I had to switch it up.
For those that have been watching the channel for a while and watched the videos that I've put out, you will know that I am a big fan of the Doom franchise. I've especially gotten into it on the Nintendo Switch as they've released every single mainline Doom game on the Nintendo Switch, even Doom 64, which was exclusive to the Nintendo 64. And recently, they finally put out a port of Doom Eternal. And if you haven't already watched my review on the channel of this game, I highly suggest you pause this and go back and watch that one first. But if not, continue watching this one. We're going to have a good time today because we're going to be comparing Doom 2016 and Doom Eternal. Now, these games do follow the same formula. They're essentially predecessor and a sequel to each other, and they follow a really similar patterns, and overall they feel the same, but there's a lot of small intricate details that have been changed between the two games, and I think that people are going to find themselves liking one more than the other. So first we're going to just take a look at Doom versus Doom Eternal in a general sense, and then we'll break it down on how the ports on the Nintendo Switch fare compared to each other. What makes Doom Eternal a lot more different than Doom in a general sense is that instead of leaning into a lot of repetitive gunslinging, it instead focuses on a lot more narrative and also a lot more mobility and verticality. There is a lot of platforming in it, as well as a lot of additions to how a player can approach a different situation. Whereas in Doom 2016, you more so have your loadout of guns, and there are a couple options as to how you can face these demons and go through these linear missions, but overall you're going to want to just approach it in one or two or three different ways. Doom Eternal is a lot different in the fact that the areas are linearly based, but they're a lot more open, and there's a lot of space to move around. Also, one thing that has a knock towards Doom Eternal is actually the fact that different enemies have weak points. Compared to Doom Eternal, you can kind of just choose which gun you think works best against them, but ultimately, whatever gun you want to play is going to work best, depending on if you're good at the weapon or not. But in Doom Eternal, different demons have different weak spots and weaknesses to certain weapons, and so you're going to want to use the weapon that's best against that demon's weak point. One example is the brain type spider demons that run around have these big cannons on the top, and if you use the precision bolt on the assault rifle to knock off that cannon, it's basically super vulnerable, and then you can just go on full on attacking it because it can't really attack back at you. So Doom Eternal leans more into, having specific weapons that target specific weak points on the enemies. I think Doom Eternal is also a lot more accessible because it has a lot of staples that are outside of the Doom franchise. Like, you have a hub, you have a lot more ability to upgrade your different weapons, and also, as I previously stated, Doom Eternal leans a lot more heavily into its narrative. There are way more cutscenes, a lot more dialogue, and constantly you can find little scripts around the map to read about the history of where you're going, because you do have this hub and you're going out to all these different places, not just Earth and not just the underworld, but like you're going to cultist bases, you're going to all these different areas, and so there's a lot more background to those specific areas that you're going to, and if you want to read on them you can. But in Doom 2016, it's less focused on the story and more focused about running and gunning and just getting all of these enemies obliterated and off the screen. Me personally, I do love story in video games, but that's not really what Doom to me is really all about. It's more so focused on attacking, and that's the center of what I like about the franchise. And Doom Eternal does have that element, but also it has to weigh it with the other elements that it is focused on doing, and that's okay, but that's how they differ. Now let's dig into how the ports fare up against each other. The Nintendo Switch is obviously an underpowered console, so you're not going to get necessarily the same experience you would on a powerful PC or an Xbox or a PlayStation or whatever you're playing on outside of the Nintendo Switch. So there was a lot that had to go into changing these games. And 4 years in the gaming realm, which is the amount of time that was in between both of these games, is a lot of time for the gaming world to advance. So Doom Eternal is a lot more demanding of a game. Doom 2016 has a lot more interior-based places, and if you know anything about porting and game creation, when you're inside and there's less to see, the game is going to run more smoothly. Not to mention it's an older game, so overall, playing Doom 2016 is going to be a smoother experience. One thing that I did notice compared to Doom Eternal is there is a lot more frame drops in Doom 2016. It's interesting. You wouldn't expect it. You'd expect the older game to be more stable, but for some reason, bigger cutscenes where there's all these demons on screen. Like the first time you go through the portal to get down into the underworld, there is just a lot of enemies active. There is a lot more frame drops on the Nintendo Switch version of the game. But Doom Eternal, from what I've played of the game, which is an extensive amount for my review, honestly, there's not a whole lot of times where those frames are starting to drop. And I think that's magnificent, but I think it comes out in the visual fidelity of the port. Doom 2016 is still muddy compared to other versions of the game, but overall, it looks a lot better than Doom Eternal, because Doom Eternal is a newer game, thus there's a lot more blurring. Everything's kind of fuzzy and foggy when you're further away from it, and the textures are just really low resolution. Sure, Doom 2016 on the Nintendo Switch also has these, but to a lesser extent. There's not as much blurring, there still is, but there's not as much blurring when things are further away from you. Most likely, as I mentioned previously, because it's fully interior except for small parts here and there where you're in these more open sections in Doom 2016. So that's kind of how the games fare next to each other on the Nintendo Switch. Also, I had a lot more of a smoother experience playing Doom 2016 than I did playing Doom Eternal because of one specific glitch that I found myself running into multiple times. If you want to know what I'm talking about, like I said, go back and check out that review towards the end and you'll hear about this little issue that I ran into. I'm not sure if it's exclusive to the game, but I just came into a contact where I had to keep restarting the level, and that was not something that I experienced in Doom 2016 at all. I just played through it multiple times. Almost 3 times I beat that game on the Nintendo Switch. Never experienced this issue. For some reason, in Doom Eternal though, I run into it multiple times in only my first run of the game. And that's pretty disappointing. So overall, I think that Doom 2016 is a game that I like more than Doom Eternal. Mostly, as I mentioned, because it's more focused on combat solely, basically, unless you want to dig into that lore. And also because of a few issues with the port that came along with Doom Eternal. Now, that's not to discredit Doom Eternal. I think it is an absolutely fantastic port. Probably my favorite game in 2020. But I think that Doom 2016 is just an overall better experience. Although both games are magnificent, and I would recommend both of them to everybody.
Alright guys, thanks for watching. Let us know in the comments what you thought of this video. Do you have any thoughts on the topic we discussed? We love talking to you guys. Remember to like and subscribe for more videos like these. Lastly, check out our Twitter account for more gameplay, updates, and the latest releases. Also, don't forget to check the description of this video to come join our community Discord. But most importantly of all, remember to stay 1UP.